Hey, I'm Pops. Welcome to another Pops Talk where we do movie reviews in one video, right? So we're shooting for 10. We're shooting for 10 reviews in this video. Everything from some older films, newer films, some different things for kids, and just stuff that we've been watching. That's kind of what we're going to do right now.
He came to the ends of the earth
Aren't you that guy that makes them scary movies?
just as the earth was about to end.
The country is on red alert.
And what a perfect time to open a new horror movie.
The whole world's gonna blow up anyway, so we should just do whatever we want.
Looks so real. 2 thumbs up for Matinee, say Siskel and Ebert.
Wait till you see the feelers on this thing.
John Goodman.
How about this business?
Matinee, rated PG, starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
All right, first up is a 1990s film that's often forgotten. John Goodman stars in a Joe Dante film. Yes, he directed Gremlins, and he's here doing a historical, comedic, interesting sort of like discussion piece about those sort of like matinee films of the past that capitalized on the atomic bomb era. And here you have him doing sort of like this Hitchcockian B movie kind of shtick and bringing you Mant. That's right, the man ant mutant. And it's sort of like that thing that looks back at classic sci-fi and trying to bring it to people, what it was like. Kids in the theater, how they're wide-eyed and into everything. Interesting effects. He, of course, is bringing into the 4D effects, where obviously you have those in the auditorium as well. Now, this is all set against the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Soviet missile scare back in the 60s under President Kennedy. It's set in Key West, Florida, so you have a lot of those type of elements from that era. The duck and cover air raid drills, the scare tactics of acute radiation syndrome and the fallout and what it would do to things. Then you just have a coming of age story a little bit for the character and his brother and some of their friends, and John Goodman is just the Hollywood producer who's kind of a shyster trying to make a living doing this, who's really good at kind of pulling off some fun stuff for people to enjoy. And the beauty of the movie is just taking you back through that time frame, giving you a look into life in that sort of era, what it would be like. I love these shots where the kids are just glued to the TV. He's got like a howdy doody hat on. Here's Kennedy talking to the audience. Everyone's got their little scare things, but the movie is really not about all that. No, Matinee is really about John Goodman making a film. You can see Dick Miller there on the right. He's a staple in all these Joe Dante films, and you have the sort of like the avenues of what he'll go through to get his film made. He brings in all sorts of different figures and characters trying to drum up the business to capitalize on the fear mongering of the politics of the time. And you also just have the whole monster craze. I love these actual monster magazines, and I know this one really, it's funny because on the right you'll see a Frankenstein magazine there. That's actually one that I've talked about here on the channel. So then you also have just this teen drama, right? So you have the bad boy sort of thug criminal type. He's got the hots for this girl here in the pink dress who's now got like the friend, and it becomes a sort of thing. This is his little love interest here. She's also really, really sweet, and sort of like, the teenage romance of the 50s, and would you quote go together, could you possibly actually kiss, those kinds of things are what kind of keeps that piece moving forward as well. The beauty of all this is just John Goodman. John Goodman here is he's working with the theater director about how to rig up the seats so they vibrate and shock you, and how it does, whether or not it will actually make things safe or not in that theater becomes part of the drama at the end of the third act. And overall, Matinee, it was just a nice, fun, pleasant experience. I don't think Joe Dante really. I think he would even admit that it's probably a fluke this movie got made because of the timing of when it came out, stuff going on with the studios, and it's not really a timely piece. Tons of references in addition to the music score that's being ripped right out of those classic monster movies. He names characters after classic characters and budget film, the theater like that from that era. You have sort of like a nice shake up and feel of everything. I remember going on and seeing this and really, really enjoying it. I would say it's a very strong 3.5 out of 5 for me. I don't think this is really for everyone. It's sort of like a one and done for a lot of people because I feel that it's not really zany or crazy to be a really heavy into the comedy. It's also not boring or dry like a drama or a historical piece. It's sort of kind of a blend of something that's a little bit different. And I think that's what makes it actually very interesting is that Joe Dante is trying to tap into sort of like the Cold War alien monster sort of ripoff stuff that was kind of tapping into America youth at the time. John Goodman being the shyster and the evolution of Hollywood, what they will do, all the gimmicks that they will do. I think it's just a nice sort of like salute, if you will, to B movies and the people that were trying to make all that happen. So I really do enjoy it. Had a really good time revisiting this one. And I don't know what you guys think, but I would love to hear from you about this one as well. This is Matinee from 1993.
From the director of Gremlins comes the story of a nation on the edge.
The country is on red alert.
What a perfect time to open a new horror movie.
Some kids on the verge.
The whole world's gonna blow up anyway, so we should just do whatever we want.
And the man
I love this business.
pushing the button. 2 thumbs up for Matinee, say Siskel and Ebert.
You see what he's putting back? The showmanship.
John Goodman, Matinee, rated PG, starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
For 2 of America's most dangerous criminals,
Do you understand the meaning of the words low profile?
one night is all that stands between them and freedom.
This is my kind of place.
But it's going to be one hell of a night. From Robert Rodriguez, from Quentin Tarantino.
Welcome to slavery.
No thanks. I already have a wife.
From Dusk Till Dawn, rated R.
All right, 1996, Robert Rodriguez. This is a very popular film for people in our circles. Definitely kind of like a cult favorite or action horror. Written by Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez directs. This is Harvey Keitel, George Clooney, and Tarantino himself having a role here. Juliette Lewis has a nice role. I think what I forgot about this is it's a group of people, these 2 criminals that are kind of on the lam from the law. They're murdering more people at an opening sequence. And they run across a family and they're going to figure out how to kind of get away together. So Harvey Keitel is a widower who has lost his faith. He's a man of the cloth, but lost his faith. He's in an RV, and the 2 brothers basically coerce him and threaten him if they don't take them across the border to Mexico. And that's pretty much what's going to transpire to get them across into. They basically go to this little bar with the kids, and they're going to kind of sneak in and get past customs and wait for the contacts there to meet them. Of course, the big twist is going to be they don't go to just any regular bar. They end up in a bar, designed for vampires to lure people in and feed on. So it's like a special little place that the vampires have set up. And it really is done well at the end. There's a little teaser shot there. You kind of see how long this place has kind of been there. It's set on a relic or that kind of thing, an Aztec temple. And really, really interesting. And by the way, there's a shot of Cheech in one of his many roles in this film. I believe he plays 3 different characters in this film. The great talent in this film is just, it never ceases to amaze me who Rodriguez can get in these movies. Danny Trejo, of course, plays Razor Charlie there in that shot. Here's another shot of Cheech. And then we have some throwback characters here as well. I really love seeing some fun stuff from the past. There's a FBI guy named John Saxon, played by John Saxon, and here you have Fred Williams who plays Frost. And then we get to the shot of Tom Savini, the famous makeup artist there on the far right. He is a quote sex machine. And the fight scenes and sort of like the setup for everything turning sideways was actually pretty good. I forgot how much of a setup there was in this movie. I didn't dislike any of that, by the way. I think this is kind of what's gone with movies is there's no exploration of characters and giving them all journeys. So in that opening sequence, while you can feel like where are we going to get the vampires, you have to remember that they're giving you a nice relationship dynamics between both brothers, the dad and both kids. Then an overarching story of kind of like what would they be like as a group and will they change? Will they not change? All of that's going to come into play. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Salma Hayek in this movie. That's going to be one of the most talked about things, and it also kind of culminates where she's getting really, really close to Tarantino's character there, and then it culminates with the big vampire reveal as the vampires transform and then attack everybody. I have to be honest, I really just like some of the performances as well. Harvey Keitel really does sell the man of the cloth thing. Of course, he gets bit, and he's basically trying to convince his children that they're going to have to put him down once he transforms, and that comes to a head. You, of course, have the Clooney and Tarantino brothers. Like, well, what are we going to do if one of them gets bit? Obviously, Fred Williamson and Tom Savini are amongst the mix as well. We kind of get to know their characters. Also, kind of feel like we don't really want anyone to get bit. We don't want anyone to die in this movie. So it comes out the other side in a very rewarding way. This held up very well for me compared to some other movies that kind of from the 90s. This felt more like a journey film and more in line with the stuff that Rodriguez and Tarantino would go on to do, like Kill Bill, and of course their Planet Terror Death Proof project. Lots of little Easter eggs, of course. I think there's also some big Kahuna burgers, and you got Let's Get Ramblin', which is a Reservoir Dogs, reference. There's tons of that kind of stuff as well that you expect from these two creators. I think it did okay. I don't think it was a big box office smash, but it made money and did well. And I think its legacy is probably way bigger now than it was at the time. I definitely enjoyed rewatching it. I don't know that I rewatch it too often. It's sort of like a once every couple years kind of thing for me. It's about, I'm going to go 3 out of 5. I think that sounds about right. I think if you grew up in the 90s and this was your heyday of cinema and you love Rodriguez and Tarantino, you're going to add a star or so on that. I think the rewatchability is what keeps it very solid for me. As far as the story goes and the smallness of it, I think keeps it pretty well contained. Like, I don't think there's any major issues with the movie as a whole. And it feels good. It has a nice little wrap up at the end with how things are going to go. Not at all what you kind of expect, but it also kind of shows some character growth and development as well. Like, you feel like the George Clooney character is like learned a little bit about life and what really matters, if vampires are really true or not, and how things could be different. So, yeah, from Dusk Till Dawn.
Do you want to live through this?
On ancient ground, a terrifying evil has been unleashed. Now, 5 strangers are our only hope to stop it.
Oh, yeah!
Critics call this an action-packed roller coaster ride.
Open the door!
George Clooney is a sexy new movie hero, an instant classic.
Oh.
From Dusk Till Dawn, rated R.
Kong's god on the island. Species owned this earth long before mankind.
We don't belong here.
Kong, Skull Island, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX March 10th.
Has it already been 8 years? I actually that was probably the biggest surprise. We watch this probably every year. Of the monster movies, the newer stuff, Godzilla and Kong and otherwise, Tom Hiddleston's in it with his swagger. And yes, I can't stand Brie Larson. And yes, when she's standing on that little cliff looking out at Kong, I kind of want to go bing and kick her right off into the edge because she's become so insufferable in real life. However, Mrs. Pops loves it. So I get a dose of some monster and kaiju watches, and she can be reasonably entertained. And that's pretty much how this happened. I did put it on the old kaiju list for June. It kind of overflowed into the end of June into early July. We watched this. And Kong Skull Island is really not a very good movie. I don't really care. I don't even know who all the different soldiers are in this movie. There are so many things going on. There are characters where you're looking around and you're doing like a head count, and then suddenly there's 3 more people killed. And you're like, where were these people like 5 seconds ago? I am totally confused. With that said, though, there are some good moments in here. John C. Reilly has a very underrated, fun role in this movie. He's like the World War II guy that got shot down with his Japanese counterpart. He had a little fight, and next thing you know, Kong reveals himself, and he's been on the island this entire time. And the movie centers around, hey, some stuff's going down. People are going to find out about the island. John Goodman's character is going to lead this excursion, if you will, to research this island. He knows there's monsters, and obviously the MonsterVerse stuff that they've done with the other shows and other movies have kind of fleshed this out a little bit more. More John Goodman and more context of John Goodman. John Goodman surviving as well to kind of like keep this going would have been better for me, I think. But at the end of the day, it was more like how to make it into a silly action conflict, which I just don't care for. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some great moments. I love all this, but that's not the point of the story. The point of the story of King Kong was the Beauty and the Beast thing, and that is not part of this story, like at all. And the sad truth is, there's just some beautiful images and set design and some stuff that's brought to life. But at the end of the day, it's just not enough. Like, I love some of these shots. I think some of this is beautiful. We have so many characters, and it all centers around Sam Jack. And Sam Jack and his people are like, they're ready to be done. We're at the end. He's a lieutenant colonel. He's got his little Sky Devils squadron. They're going to go out there, and it's basically like turns into like a Captain Ahab Moby Dick type story, if you will. Yeah. I hate it. It's so dumb. And I hate the I'm going to kill the beast or bring the beast in, or it's just not Kong, man. It derails so far from like what makes Kong so precious. And it's just not a very solid movie. It's just so meh as far as the movie goes. I think Tom Hiddleston was fine. I actually think he pulls off the action movie guy pretty well in this movie. I'm actually a little surprised that he hasn't sought out or kind of returned to that genre more and done a few more. I remember watching Night Manager with my wife, and that was okay. And I think that there's, some places and some stuff that, can, be pretty good in the grand scheme of his resume and what's out there. But at the same time, like, maybe it's not his thing. Maybe just like, it's just stupid popcorn stuff. I'm just not into it. Now, Brie Larson, her character is insufferable in this movie too. Like, she's just the snotty girl, bossy war photographer, and the movie derails tremendously into this thing about the natives. They meet these natives that are living on the island, and you have the John C. Reilly reveal, but there's this big music video while they're trying to put the plane boat thing together, and she has them hold up 2 fingers for peace, and it's all these it was such a waste of time. Every time I watch the movie with her, I'm not really allowed to fast forward, but if I watch it by myself, I skip all those sequences. I can't stand them. And as I say, there are just really good moments and really some fun action and some stuff that's actually really good. It's just all riddled around some of this other stuff that just, I'm just so mad. But look at the cool. And that's the problem. I think they came up with all these great ideas for different images, but there's other things. Look at this. She's a scientist. It's so terrible. She looks absolutely. She looks like that gun is going to knock her on her backside any second she tries to pull that trigger. Terrible. Here's Shea Wiggum, and then the guy that's actually funny, and a couple other people that we forget because they don't really have but like 3 lines. We're supposed to remember them. Here's the guy who's writing a diary to his son Billy, and that's the thing, because we just have so many plot elements thrown against the wall. But the green gas scenes are cool. Some of these other moments are cool. I like those. I think some of this stuff really does work well. Let's see if there's any other cool things. Again, I think I've covered most of the cinematography and some of the stuff that I did like. So, yeah, all in all, this is a tricky one because it's probably a 2 out of 5 movie. I'm going to go 2.5 because we watch it all the time. And it's like I watch let's see, it's almost 2 hours long. I probably watch an 1.5 hour version of this movie. That's what I personally will watch, where I kind of skip through some scenes. So it feels to me like a way better movie than it actually is, because I don't watch the whole thing. So yeah, think of it as that 2.5. It's not the worst wing in the world. It's just not very good either.
Look at that. We did that. He was just defending his territory.
Deep down. Kong, Skull Island, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX Friday.
They tried to warn us of the dangers of global
we're on the
warming,
verge of a major climate shift.
but we wouldn't listen. And now it's time to suffer the consequences.
There is a wall of water coming towards New York City. Come on!
The air is going to be so cold you could freeze to death in seconds.
Maybe it won't be today.
We have to get out of here now.
Maybe it won't be tomorrow.
Nothing like this has ever happened before. At least not in the last 10,000
But
years.
for sure, it'll be the day after tomorrow. Saturday at 3 on CW47.
Do you have a dumb movie that you really do enjoy watching? I love disaster movies. So, Day After Tomorrow is a stupid movie. It is an agenda movie. It is incredibly stupid. The premise is dumb. I love that it was just this manufactured propaganda piece that was about global warming in the middle of like the Al Gore climate change stuff. And the end is nigh kind of thing. It made a ton of money. Everybody talked about it, but at the end of the day, this movie is just, it's retarded. So you can ask yourself, why, Pops, do you watch it all the time? I said, because I love disaster stuff. I love watching tornadoes just completely destroy things in moments like this where you get to see helicopters and flash floods and just buildings, people run for their lives. Like, yeah, look at the Statue of Liberty frozen over. And then you get some action from Dennis Quaid. And, it's fantastic. I actually loved all this. I think this is what I just keep coming back for more. I don't know what this is all about. Oh, the people. We don't care about the peoples. Yeah, let's get out of that. I don't understand why we have all those people that aren't even in this movie. It's all about Dennis Quaid, man. Look, there's a moment in the movie where he has the smile with the dimples. The camera closes in. I kind of joke with the missus about, there's your Dennis. There's your obligatory Dennis Quaid dimple shot, whatever. So, look, he doesn't really pull off the science guy very well. He literally is just playing like, mild action star, as we're going to try to quote, go save his son. I mean, it is quite silly when you have people that are outside. These guys are literally in just a few layers of clothes in a tent, and they somehow don't freeze to death. When anyone outside, it literally is freezing solid. Ridiculous, completely absurd. The idea that the global warming changes the current and within a matter of moments, it's like a snow hurricanes converge on the northern hemisphere and freeze everything. And yet, if you remember at the end of the movie, within a few days, it was all over. That's right. It was like 6 days later, everyone's going to be back to normal again or something. It was just, wait, I don't understand. So if you just told people to like hunker down, set their house on, set their furniture on fire to survive, all of that, it would have just worked and they would have just lived. Like, that's a thing. Could have done that. No, we're just going to freeze a lot. Talk about books and characters that don't matter, and the poor little guy with his dog, and the hot dog freezes, and there's so many. It is like noise for me. It's disaster amusement for me. I watch stuff maybe 2 stars, and I am being kind because I watch it a lot. I watch it every year probably. It feels like a summer movie because it feels like during the summers when we get more climate hysteria and that we're exaggerating, because in the 70s, it was global cooling. When I was a kid, we were talking about dropping like ash and soot on the snow in the Arctic and stuff to have like a control burn because we were worried about it getting too cold. It was going to be global cooling. So now it's global warming. And it still goes. So during the summer, when it's warm outside, hot outside, it's hysteria. It's hysterics. We should do this. We should do that. So this movie was definitely part of the propaganda arm for all that. And I know Jake Gyllenhaal's in it with some other kids, actors and whatever. Yeah, I don't care. They're all right. They're fine. Jake's fine. Nothing special. Just, in the scenes. It's all about these effects and stuff and moments that are just kind of absurd, if nothing else. They go out. They run from wolves. I don't understand how the wolves are doing so good. I don't know why the wolves aren't out trying to eat something else and going after a human. It's just a lot of work when it's that cold outside. Wolves are not doing that. They're not doing that. They're going to eat their stuff. So. But yeah, good. Hey, listen, we get to see the Hollywood sign taken down again. We'll be there for that. So yeah, 2 out of 5. Probably being kind, but rewatchability is fun. It's just fun. That's all I'm going to say.
We found something extraordinary. You recall what you said about how polar melting might disrupt the North Atlantic current?
Yes.
Well, I think it's happening.
The hail, the tornadoes, it all fits.
Nothing like this has ever happened before.
At least not in the last 10,000 years.
Day After Tomorrow, May 28th, rated PG-13.
On DVD April 22nd. What you heard. What you saw.
Did you guys just see that?
What you know was only the beginning.
Cloverfield. Own it on DVD with declassified new footage.
All right, 2008's Cloverfield, kind of a offshoot again of the late June, early July high June watch for me, where I'm watching creature movies, monster movies, and yeah, this found footage. The creature is attacking, set against a whole bunch of like New York side of elitists who are going to go their separate ways and romance stuff, and maybe somebody's cheated on somebody and all that. No one really cares. It's just excuses to have sort of a low budget J.J. Abrams produced found footage movie. Matt Reeves directs. Drew Goddard wrote the script. They've all gone on to some success. T.J. Miller is the only actor I believe who's gone to any major success. Mike Vogel was part of the Under the Dome TV show for a while, and he was okay with that. It's okay. I know now. It's just a reminder why I don't care about any of these people and humans. The rules get a little muddy too, on like, are you bit? Are you scratched? One person's like, just the injury just caused it all sorts of consequences, and then basically just like explode, which was what's happening? So part of the found footage thing was, I think that they had to do a better job maybe with the intro to be. I think we could have had something not found footage to explain why we're looking at this. Like, I think it could have done better if the government was, we found this tape that actually has the information you need. Maybe they declassify it similar to the way they treat the Ark at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark or something to explain what's going on. But yeah, there's all sorts of like crazy things that are just inconsistent. But yeah, when the girl explodes or whatever, it's hysterical, man. I started laughing because I forgot about that. They're on set, but I don't know, man. I just couldn't totally vibe with any of these people. Some of the sequences are completely absurd, of course. They severed the Statue of Liberty. There's a theme here, I think, with kaijus and monsters, where they have to jump from like one building to the other to save the girl. It was just absurd action type stuff. You feel like every single character is being protected and not going to get hurt, but yeah, you're along the ride for some of that kind of stuff that you have in all the cliches. I don't know. I felt like at the time it seemed a lot cooler and interesting. Like when this came out, I remember enjoying it a lot more than I do now. Found footage thing was pretty new. I mean, obviously there was like Blair Witch or something, but for the most part, don't think any of us really knew much about it. I know that the great effects guy Phil Tippett was brought in to do some of the effects and help with like the monster part of it all, and the creature's fine. We just don't get a whole lot of it, right? So you don't really get any longevity of it. You don't really have any explanations on what's going on. You don't really know kind of how to feel about it. That's how I am. It's like, yeah, it's all right. But it had, I remember when it came out, it was very solid and it was okay. But I think that, a Godzilla creature, found footage monster type thing could blend better if we could see them outside the scope of the found footage thing as well, maybe. But yeah, it's fine. Let's see. 2.5 out of 5. I'm giving them an extra half. It's probably a 2 out of 5 for me, but I feel like I'm giving them the extra half because they were a little ahead of their time with sort of like that kind of thing. I don't think there's anything particularly special about it, but it is to see that it was different and interesting to be a little different than what you would normally have. I don't think the characters are particularly that interesting, but it never really got, I don't know, didn't really do anything great. It just stayed pretty mid on most things. So yeah, it was okay. And it was a fine enough experience to rewatch it, but not anything I'm going to write home about.
7 hours ago, something attacked the city.
What is it? Is it coming this way? I saw it. It's alive. It's huge.
Hello? Jack, where are you?
This is a mandatory evacuation.
We're gonna go after it. If you want to stop me, then you're gonna have to shoot me.
There's nothing you can do for now.
Stay here, okay? And I'll go.
I'm coming with you.
Cloverfield, rated PG-13, January 18th.
Mr. Constantine, I need to see what you see.
You do this, there's no turning back. What's wrong?
I don't know, I just feel it.
In 12 days.
Something's coming.
The battle begins to save our souls.
Heaven and hell are right here. We're smack in the middle. Welcome to my life.
Constantine, rated R, starts Friday, February 18th.
All right, talk about Constantine. That's right. 2005. 20 years. You know, the irony is they really didn't have to do a whole lot to make this film better. They really could have just tweaked a few things. But I feel like once Francis Lawrence got involved and it's like, I want to make a Constantine movie. It's like, no, you didn't. Not really. Because everything went awry. Basically, like the Hellblazer name got changed because they didn't want to be associated with something so close to Hellraiser. And then it was like, well, we're going to, cast this Canadian dude with black hair who's not English. We don't even give him the right color trench coat. We don't give him the right color tie. He smokes a lot, but other than that, not much else happens that's tied to the actual character. Because it is a nice little story. It's actually not a horrible version of getting some of these different characters and adapting the universe and seeing some cool elements introduced. Here's Shia LaBeouf, which is, it was all right. Kind of a lame ending. And he's also way too young. Rachel Weisz is a love interest. And Tilda Swinton as well was fine. Tilda Swinton. Overall, this is one of those movies. Probably should do a whole show just on what could have been, what should have been. Because when he shows up at the library and he sees Tilda Swinton's character Gabriel, she easily could have said, or he could have said, doesn't matter. They were kind of asexual beings. Hey, look at you. You've changed your whole look. You lost look at you. You still got a coat and a tie, but you look so different. Look at you, John. Are you trying to trying to lead a normal life? Wait, she could have at least given them some cover for that type of change. That could have been part of what would have helped the situation. But the whole heaven and earth, they find the spear that pierces Jesus, and therefore it's going to be the gateway thing for Satan's son to kind of escape hell and kind of take over things, which creates conflict for Satan, Lucifer himself. And they go to Papa Midnight, which you saw briefly, but nothing of any avail that's really that memorable here. But it was again, everything was fine. Everything is mid. I feel like they just didn't want to lean into what is actually there for source material, and he didn't want to make it in London. He didn't want things to, let's face it, Constantine's a really cool character. And if you've seen the Matt Ryan led show, it's a really cool character. It really can be done well. He's supposed to look like Sting. He's supposed to, smoke a lot. He's supposed to have some magic and all these different. And you see pieces of things that kind of work at times, but overall doesn't really work. There's some great moments, some good, interesting premise. Keanu Reeves actually has some pretty good charisma handling all of it. I think he does really, really well with what's happening. I think Rachel Weisz kind of phones it in. She's really not very interesting in this movie, but I feel that most of it is just kind of superfluous, I guess. Like, it's just, I don't know that any of us care. Like, it doesn't feel like there's any weight or anything like that. I don't know. I feel it just doesn't have the oomph that it needs. And I think that it's kind of miscast, misguided. The script is just, it's okay. There's just so many things that went wrong. It's another one of those what could have been, should have been kind of things. 2 out of 5, but I do enjoy watching it sort of like begrudgingly. I don't watch it very often. I think it's probably once every 2 or 3 years. So I'm not willing to give it that extra little half-star bump for being in the regular cycle annually, but it could and should have been 3 to 4 stars. It should have been something very interesting, very dynamic, dealing with a lot of complex issues that the comic books do deal with. Yeah, it's just a shame they can't get this right.
Hell wants him.
What were those things?
They were after me.
Heaven won't take him.
It's personal, isn't it?
They don't like you, John.
Earth needs him.
Something's coming. I can feel it.
Keanu Reeves. Constantine. Look for it on DVD.
Join me.
Whoa!
On September 18th,
Jello!
taste the adventure.
Belly flop!
Cloudy, with a Chance of Meatballs. Rated PG in 3D and IMAX 3D.
All right, let me switch over to something that the kids wanted to watch. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was quite a surprise. I didn't expect the kids to want to check this out, but they did. 2009, kind of a fun little film. It kind of deals with the inventor here on the left, Flint Lockwood. He's wanted to be an inventor his whole life. He has a little pet monkey named Steve that lives in Swallow Falls, but none of his inventions, nothing ever works out well. And the island's economy is completely become a disaster because they relied on sardine sales, and now it's, they're viewed as super gross. And he creates this sort of like dynamic food replicator, basically transforms everything into food. So people are like, it basically just starts dropping giant food pieces from the sky. And it's just scene after scene of just like crazy food going on. Here's a dropping. It's a lot of fun. Here's his little love interest, Sam Sparks. She's actually super sweet and kind of funny in her own little story. She's voiced by Anna Faris. And I will say that it is kind of a sweet little love story thing that's kind of awkward and kind of deals with. This was actually kind of fun because so the police officer and his son. So this is one of my favorite elements of the entire movie, actually. Is Mr. T's voice, right? He's Mr. T, but I think Terry Crews has the other voice in the other movie. Doesn't come back, maybe? I'm not quite sure. I loved all that. So that was really fun. Lots of gags about loving your kid. And this is the mayor. I think Bruce Campbell does the voice for the mayor. I think that's kind of funny, right? Yeah. Bruce Campbell does the voice for the mayor. I will tell you that the gags are kind of fun. The gags are interesting. Oh, wait. We got to get to the camera guy here on the right. Here he is, center stage. Manny. He is also so Benjamin Bratt does the voice. He's like this, is he Guatemalan? He's Hispanic. Anyway, he's like a former doctor and he's a comedian, but he knows how to fly like a plane or helicopter. It plays loosey-goosey with all sorts of stuff, and you just have fun. And then, of course, everything's going to go awry because the machine's going to get out of control. Sam's, going to warn him of things are going to go bad, but Flint can't get out of his own way. He enjoys the publicity, he enjoys all the success, he enjoys all of that you would expect from someone who's not had positive things happen for you, and then you do. So a lot of fun slapstick, a lot of fun quirky humor. Works pretty well. It was fun. Kids are having a good time, which is always great, right? Kids are having a good time, and we can not tolerate having it on. Some of the stuff's kind of witty. I think it's not always great and fun. Some of the effects are a little funky, but kids are easily distracted, so it kind of works pretty well. So 3 out of 5 for me is very solid on this one. I am not opposed to putting this in, which is a huge tell for me. Like I'm totally cool with the kids wanting to watch this. I had a pretty good time laughing at some of the gags, and it seems like they were coming at you at a pretty rapid pace. I will tell you that for sure. All the voices are good. Oh, James Caan also voices the dad. So Flint has his dad who's still running like bait and tackle. That's it. It's like James Caan is the voice, and he can't stand technology. He's always trying to discourage Flint and, hey, listen, just come take over the family business, which is a joke. There's also, let's see if I can find a shot of him. There's also other characters that kind of joke. Here's one of those. This is Brent. So he was like this baby star, but he's a complete nitwit. He was like the face of like the sardine company, and now he's like a joke. So he has to have a little redeeming story too. Like, how can he find value and be a contributor to society and stuff like that. So that's really good stuff. It was actually, had some interesting story arcs, if anything. It actually had story arcs, which is, like I said, hard to find these days. So not bad. Old Chance, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Pretty good stuff.
On January 5th, get ready for a twisted up, mamma mia, high stakes, meat, flat out, no school, hilarious comedy. Awesome. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Rated PG on the Blu-ray plus DVD combo pack.
Walt Disney Pictures presents
Mr. Page!
the only movie with giant fruit.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Killer sharks.
Oh, no!
Let's get out of here!
And underwater pirates.
He's gonna cut me in half! He should have messed with me!
From the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas.
What do we do?
Comes a weird world that'll blow you away.
Wahoo!
James and the Giant Peach. Rated PG. Starts Friday, April 12th.
All right, saying the same thing with the kids. I got the kids to watch James and the Giant Peach. They did not want to watch James and the Giant Peach. I don't want to watch it, Pops. I don't want to watch it, Pops. I loved James and the Giant Peach. The kids, my actual kids, their parents, loved James and the Giant Peach. They didn't watch it. They never seen it. They sat down, glued to the TV the entire time because it's fun. It's a great little adventure. I will tell you that I have a wonderful time with anything done by Roald Dahl. Directed by Henry Selick, who's one of the great stop motion animators. He actually directed Nightmare Before Christmas, even though Tim Burton kind of steals all the thunder as a producer on that. But here he kind of gets to shine. A great voice cast from Richard Dreyfuss and David Thewlis, Susan Sarandon, and you have this little boy, little downtrodden little guy, and he finds this magic beans and this world just sort of comes alive for him, and he has all these crazy creatures, and he wants on this adventure to get to New York, and it's all about getting there and having this adventure with these different characters, learning a lot about himself, learning a lot about other people, overcoming fear, overcoming difficulties and challenges, especially when people around you are not rooting for you or actually abuse you in some ways. And they're great. They're great villains. I think that actually works really well. It's Miriam Margolyes and Joanna Lumley play Sponge and Spiker. They're the evil ants. The late great Pete Postlethwaite has the magic. He's like the magic guy who brings like the little worm, magic worm things. But overall, man, what a fun little experience. I'm so glad that it still works for those kids. The spider, yeah, just some great characters, a great little adventure where the peach rolls away. He has to come up with creative ways to work through these problems with these little invertebrates: grasshopper, centipede, spider, earthworm, ladybug. There's a glowworm, and there's you saw some of the interactions there where they're going across the ocean with these seagulls. And then when you get to New York, it's this giant peach that gets dropped down on the Empire State Building. And there's some interesting little moments and gags. It's humorous. It's not like laugh out loud funny. I don't think there's anything. There's a lot of like sort of like advice for kids and messages and things, but it's like it's tricky because kids have to kind of be nudged into like, oh, see, like James, he was afraid of he was afraid of the rhinoceros. But the rhinoceros wasn't real, was it? He was afraid of this. He was afraid of. So that's kind of one of the big take homes from the story, was kind of like a great little film and sort of message that can you use and kind of tie into stuff for your own family. I love this movie. I think it's an adoring film with just beautiful visuals and fun little dynamics. I love the fact it's just offbeat, off kilter, just quite a bit. I think that it has a lot of great animated elements. The music's fine. I think Randy Newman did the music on it. I think the music is a lot of fun too. And I know there's also talks of them wanting to remake it, and I hope they never do. I hope they just keep encouraging people to watch this one. So 4 out of 5 for me. Love this movie. Would watch it anytime. Disney has been kind of shelved in my house. We've talked about that here on the channel before. So this wasn't one that is like front and center for them to get to easily, but it's not a mainstream Disney. It's sort of like that offshoot sort of feel of Disney. It's like, it's their stuff, but it's not like high on like the Disney branding that other stuff is. But yeah, 4 out of 5 for me. I really hope that when they come back, they ask to see this again. We'll see. So anyway, that's my take. James and the Giant Peach, definitely a favorite of mine. Love it.
Just released on video. You can take the ride of your life with James and the Giant Peach. Join a boy named James, a wacky worm, a sassy spider, and their bugged-out buddies in a journey to an incredible world where anything can happen. It's their exciting adventure that you can get for your very own.
We'll always be together, won't we?
Kid, you're stuck with us for life.
Disney's James and the Giant Peach. Rated PG.
I need more money.
We're a small market team. Find players with the money that we do have.
There's a championship team that we can afford because everyone else undervalues them, like an island of misfit toys.
We're gonna shake things up.
You don't put a team together with a computer.
Billy Bean has tried to reinvent a system that's been working for years.
I say it's just getting started.
What is happening in Oakland?
It defies everything we know about baseball.
Just plain crazy.
All right, for those of you who have seen my review of F1 with Brad Pitt, I realize how many movies of Brad Pitt that I actually just love. I enjoy rewatching. This is another one that I don't own and I need to get a copy of because I don't watch it enough. But when I do, I always have a good time. Moneyball, and you see on the right Jonah Hall, who co-stars. He's a student of the sort of like the new mathematic approach, the sabermetrics, if you will, that are tied to baseball now. It's completely different from what has been in place for many, many years. Brad Pitt's character is the general manager of the Oakland A's, Billy Bean. And this is based on a true story. And if anybody remembers the A's from that era, they were phenomenal. I mean, they had a pitching trio and then just kept plugging in pieces. And as someone who's, because we're in Florida, as a, Tampa Bay Rays kind of thing, it's completely different, similar strategy, like uber low budget, can't compete with the Yankees, can't compete with the Red Sox, whatever, yet try to find a way to win, have a good farm system, bring people in. And this is sort of pulling back the curtain on that evolution a little bit. One of those people that did it first. Chris Pratt in a pretty early role is a key character in the film. Love that. And there's the late Philip Seymour Hoffman as Art Howe, the manager. But Jonah Hall really does shine in this movie. He has a lot of great moments, great scenes, very smart. He pulls all that off really, really well. I was actually kind of surprised in hindsight because they approach this as they go to a meeting, everyone's listening to this guy, and then Brad Pitt's like, I'm just going to buy you, to basically get you into my system. He has to lose his three major players because the A's had a lot of success. What are we going to do? And he explains the math of we need to generate runs. This is what we need to do. And there's a great line early in the movie because the A's are not succeeding. Art Howe's pushing back. They're not getting where they want. And Brad Pitt just goes in the room and just takes all the players off the board, just holding up his math. He's holding up the game. So what he does is he trades away this young prospect at first, which is Pena. He trades Jason Giambi's brother, Jeremy, and they have no choice. They have to do it. And then it's like, well, the success will come when there's a large enough sample size. I love the math. If you have a large enough sample size, the math will equal out. So even though the injured David Justice and whatever, it'll work out once he has enough at bats. You know what I mean? Once we get the right Chris Pratt's character, we get him at first, we get him enough at bats, he will deliver. And it's just a really nice, solid film. Like I was really always amused and entertained by it. I think that I don't care for the fact that we don't really get much about the three main pitchers that really kind of drove all of this, right? Because Zito, Hudson, and Mulder, I believe, Mark Mulder, yeah, are really the backbone of why this even works. There's a little bit of Chavez. I think maybe is Miguel Tejada in the movie or not? I don't know, but it's this core group that's doing really well that he doesn't have to spend any money on. They're there, they're locked in, they're whatever. But overall, really solid movie. Very solid movie. 4. I mean, I want to go 4.5. I'm not sure I can go 4.5, but it's right there. It's right there because I enjoy watching it all the time, and it'll be sort of like moved on to my next to purchase type list, even if it's just digitally, because I do enjoy it. Really enjoy it. Brad Pitt really pulls it off pretty well. I don't think he has to do a whole lot, so it's kind of showing this side of Brad Pitt that I've ignored and I'm coming to enjoy is how much acting he's doing, especially without like dialogue or scenes that are very subdued. He's pulling those off really well, and I wasn't really giving him credit for that. I was always treating him like, the pretty guy thing and all that early in his career, but as things have transitioned here in the last few years, he has a lot of movies that are very solid in this same way. I think it's one of the best movies. This is 2011. So if we go back to 2010, so let's say the last 15 years, sort of like the last decade and a half or so, it's definitely in that top list. It's definitely in that conversation of being really, really solid. I think it actually got some Oscar attention pretty well. I think it was like Best Picture, Actor, Supporting Actor, all that kind of nominations are in place. I don't know that it won anything, but it's good to see. And I wish we had more movies like this. I wish that there were movies but I think that the problem too is Pitt and others are worth too much money now. This budget, I think it was a $50 million budget, and they doubled or tripled their budget. But I think now he wants probably $30 million or whatever he got, because he was in that Clooney movie. I did a review on this Clooney movie that he's in. I think they each got 15 million or something, or 30 million, whatever it was. It was absurd. It's way too much money for that kind of movie. You can't keep churning these out really well if you're going to run the budgets all crazy. It's not that kind of movie. But very solid watch. 4.5. I'm really on the fence on that. Who can nudge me off? Nudge me in a direction, good or bad, guys. I love it. I enjoyed this movie.
In 2020,
Dad left us a spell to bring him back. And we messed it up.
It's just legs!
I definitely remember Dad having the top part. From Disney and Pixar,
We only have 24 hours to bring the rest of him back.
there's no magic
Hold on!
like family.
I'm escorting you home. I'm giving you to the count of 3.
Onward. This film is not yet rated.
All right, I'm going to talk about Onward. It's the last film we're going to talk about, Disney's Onward from 2020. I'm pretty hard on movies from the 2020 till now, and I'm really hard on Disney because I've really not enjoyed most of Disney stuff. However, I always forget this one. And Mrs. Pops and I were scrolling, we're like, we have not watched that movie. I wonder how it holds up. She literally said out loud, I sure miss when they made movies like this. It was so family centric, so interesting. They basically create this world that we're in where it's just sort of a fantasy land of mythical creatures where magic was common, but now of course technology has taken over. But obviously there's a message there we're not even going to get into, where basically because technology is either we've all become fat and lazy and everything's obsolete and whatever. So Ian Lightfoot's going to turn 16. And he has this sort of like gift from his dad where he can bring his dad that he never met back because his dad died when his mom was pregnant. You could see his other brother there on the left who is obsessed with sort of like magic and D&D. His name is Barley. He is longing to go on a quest, and this is their chance to go on a quest because the spell goes sideways and they have to go out there and get another gem to finish the quest. Octavia Spencer voices the Manticore there on the right. Julie Louis-Dreyfus is their mom. Great moments, great gags. I tell you what, I agree with Mrs. Pops. I wish they made movies like this. Tom Holland voices Ian, so it's Tom Holland and Chris Pratt as brothers. And you kind of go through Ian's journey to appreciate that even though he lost his dad, his brother has given him all the memories that dad would have helped mold him into a young man, given him life experiences, everything from like, teaching him to drive to just playing catch, the stuff that dads do. And Barley doesn't get credit for that. He's treated as the screw up because he's sort of like stuck in the past of obsession with magic. He treats it all as legit, even though a lot around him think he's completely crazy. The movie does a great job of just playing fast and loose with a lot of mythical creatures and little gags and things that work and don't work. Because you got to go through Ian and Barley's journey through things. Oh man, the crazed unicorns is always funny. And then of course the dad is played for like a Weekend at Bernie's kind of thing because he's not really brought back to life. The gem falls out, so he's like he has a bottom but not a top, and they kind of like have moments there. We actually had a really pleasant time. Now, we're not the target audience for this, so it is not something that really made us like completely go crazy or laugh out loud or anything like that. There's a lot more drama, I think, surrounding this because they do have like it's an offhanded comment about girl having a girlfriend or something, and this is obviously we're right in the middle of the COVID nonsense breaking loose, so it kind of become a mess for the studio itself. However, really, really is fantastic compared to the stuff that we've had over the last 2 years. I mean, just to be perfectly honest with you, this is a very solid 4 movie, very rewatchable, had a really good time. It's a nice little family comedy with some nice little messaging in it, dealing with some emotional stuff and some range that was pretty good. I enjoyed more of the weirdness. It kind of fizzles out the last half of the movie. We get away from all of the mythical stuff and all the mythical creatures. Comes less and less of that. And there's like a couple of like cheesy gags when the dragon thing shows up rather than just being a cool dragon. It's all right. But I love the fact that it's so much about looking at your strengths, learning to appreciate family members, especially like siblings. The journey was really, really nice and enjoyable. I really think that there are moments that the goofball gets to shine and redeem himself as we kind of go through this journey with Ian. Very good, very solid. 4 out of 5 for me. Really enjoyed it. Not watching Disney stuff regularly. It was a fluke that we kind of threw it on. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my take. So
Dad left us a spell to bring him back, and we messed it up.
We only have 24 hours to bring the rest of him back. Put it in O for onward! Before you cast Dad's spell again, you're gonna have to practice.
It's getting harder to hold!
It worked! The can is huge! And you're... Oh no.
We could run into anything. Manticore, wolf dragon.
Unicorns.
This film is not yet rated.
And I hope you've enjoyed my pop talk. This is a good time to catch up on all the different things that we're watching and we're enjoying. Love to hear from you about some suggestions or recommendations as well. If you are catching this as a clip, make sure you check out the link in the description there to watch the whole Popscast.